What if I did that?
Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of Burn, Nick, and coming to you from Palm Coast, Florida, it's Ken Klarich of Ash Ale Cigars. How you doing, Ken?
Good, guys. How's everyone? I'm doing great.
It's a great day. It's a wonderful day.
It's a wonderful day. It's beautiful.
Wonderful.
It's a little overcast. It's perfect weather. You can't ask for very much more down here.
There you go. Perfect. So we've got Ken on the show today because, as I've been teasing, toying, playing with everybody, I've been teasing the fact that we have been having our PulpitFest planning sessions, and we just had a call on Saturday about that. And, I figured while we can't necessarily give away all the fun that's coming to PulpitFest, because some of it, we want to surprise, some of it is still in progress, things of that nature, I can kind of bring Ken on to talk about kind of just event planning in general and what goes into planning, an event like this, because, Ken has a very unique background and experience in doing so. And I figured that, for those people who go, a lot of us go to cigar events, but we don't know kind of what goes into it. We don't know how the sausage is made. We don't know the process of how things like this come about. And so there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I figured that we'd have Ken on to talk about that.
Are you done mumbling yet?
I am.
Okay, good. Hi, guys.
I was hyping you up, you bastard. Anyway, so today we're going to be smoking a selection from United Cigars. We're going to be smoking the Yaya Bagua. Now, I'm smoking the Robusto size, which
it's not even listed on their website.
Damn, you're right. It's not.
I'm smoking the Toro size.
I have a special size. Okay, so you got the 6x54 Toro, but yeah, no.
That's what everyone says about you, Nick. You're always a little small.
I mean, a little bit. Actually, no, that's not what everybody says about me. That is kind of the complete opposite of what everybody says about me. Anyway, the Yaya features an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Cuban seed Dominican binder, and filler made up of Dominican Ligero, Dominican Olor, and Dominican Seco. Comes in boxes of 15 and available from Ash Ale Cigars.
That is.
I'm
getting
true.
United. I've got the Bandolero in. I've got a few other lines coming back in now. So it should be a fairly good selection when you guys get here, hopefully. As long as I can get delivery.
Perfect. Now, before we get into the cut, I want to highlight. I have a special thank you I need to issue, and I want to highlight this. So, as those of you who follow my Instagram know, when was that? Maybe week or two. I think it was May. God, it may have only been a week ago. My outdoor ashtray came to an untimely end.
Oh.
I had my very nice Ashton ashtray with a big bowl. This thing, it had been with me since 2019. We've seen a lot of cigars together, and unfortunately, it was on the little side table of my chair here, and I had my drink on the side table too, and I combined drinks, and I pushed the lid down on the drink, and I pushed it down enough that I guess the side table collapsed, and the ashtray hit the concrete, just shattered everywhere, right?
Oh,
and this was
catastrophe.
It was horrible. And it was 2 minutes before I was going to record with Dave Garofalo to talk about the New England Cigar Festival. So I couldn't even really clean it up. So the whole time I'm recording with him, the dead and shattered corpse of my Ashton ashtray is sitting on the ground next to my chair. And I'm just pissed. I'm just furious, right? And so I take a picture and I post it to my Instagram, lamenting the death of my poor ashtray. And like an angel, the clouds parted, and this heavenly voice came down from the sky and said, "Hey, Nick, how would you like a brand new J.C. Newman ashtray?" And it was Drew Newman. And I was like, I'm not a beggar. I'm not a guy that's gonna like, say I want, like I don't go up to at TP and PCA. I haven't been to PCA, but I don't go up to these guys and ask for things. I
I've
didn't.
been with you. Hold on a second. Hold on a
What?
second. That is
Okay.
not true.
Okay. You're
When
right.
we were walking around
There was
upstairs, there was a little groveling.
That's right. There was the little man, the
Yes.
smoker man ashtray from United.
You did.
Damn it, Ken. Damn it, Ken.
Ha!
Okay, that's true. So yeah, so I did. Okay, so the smoker man ashtray from United. We'll leave that be, which is also super relevant to the story. Damn it, Ken. But anyway, other than the smoking man ashtray from United, I'm not one to grovel. I'm not one to beg, typically. But he offered, and so I graciously said, that I would be honored to have a JC Newman ashtray on my patio. And so I went out to Indianapolis this weekend. I went out to see my dad. We went and saw the race on Saturday. I got back yesterday, and lo and behold, sitting there on my patio or on my front porch, was a nice big box. And I opened up said box. And inside said box was the new official patio ashtray, the JC Newman Cigar Co. Stork Club. Stork Club. This thing is look at how big this thing is. It's bigger than my head. This thing is huge. This can hold so many cigars. This look at this for scale. It's next to my face. It's huge. Huge. Now, it came with a nice
like that.
I know, right? It came with a nice little card. And I'm going to just briefly read this. And it says, when the Swanky Stork Club opened in Manhattan in 1929, it was a place for movie stars, professional athletes, and politicians to be seen. The Stork Club was a place that my grandparents, Stanford and Elaine Newman, frequented in New York. Photos of celebrities always featured the famous Stork Club ashtray. This vintage ashtray celebrates the century-old legacy of the Stork Club and J.C. Newman Cigar Company, the oldest family-owned premium cigar company in America, Drew Newman. And so you have pictures here of Frank Sinatra and Nancy Sinatra, Joe DiMaggio and Marilyn Monroe, Jackie and John F. Kennedy, all sitting there smoking cigars. And if you look, they have the Stork Club ashtray. And
it looks much smaller.
It does look smaller. JC Newman definitely went a lot bigger. They said, by God, we're gonna go bigger. But they did. They went bigger and they changed it instead of the Stork Club, it's JC Newman. But by God, it's a gorgeous looking ashtray. And I want to personally thank Drew Newman for sending that over here for all of my smoking needs.
That was very nice of him.
It was very nice of him. Drew's a very nice man. Now it's time to cut the cigar. And the official cutting is brought to you by Dan the Man Ponder over there at Riverman Cigar Company. And guys, if you're in the St. Louis area, Dan the Man Ponder, he's got a wonderful selection in the humidor for you to go and visit. Check out. He's got all kinds of Aladino cigars. I believe he has the Fuma Noche in now. He has all kinds of other selections. He carries a lot of the JC Newman and Fuente cigars. Hell, you might even be able to get your own Stork Club ashtray over there if he has any in stock. He has all kinds of great stuff. You want to swing by, check it out, say hi, hang out in the lounge, sit out front under this 1,500 square foot covered patio. It's a wonderful time. It's the place to be in Crestwood, Missouri. But if you're not in Crestwood, Missouri, he does do mail orders, so you can give him a call. So you can have stuff shipped to you right away. It's Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. Finally, right, Ken? We're getting to the cigar.
I was growing old.
Growing?
Or older. Shut up.
What? I'm taking shit from you. I can dish it back. Anyway.
I cut mine already while you were on
blathering
your
on.
Box. Yeah.
That's okay. That's all right. Anyway. Cold draw.
I'm gonna hate to say it again because this will be the third time in a row.
Okay.
Dried fruit.
Yeah.
This is more apricot-y though than it was raisiny.
Yeah, it's not. This is not raisiny. Not raisiny. But yeah, dried fruit. I'll give you that. All right, I'm firing up, and then we can.
If you insist.
Get the Well, yeah, it's about damn time. Like you said, I've blathered on enough. It
was a great monologue.
All right. Am I getting it? Damn lighter is having issues with this lighter lately.
Is that your Vertigo or Vortex?
No, it's one of the Vertigo Cyclones.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that one's about to. Sorry, I moved my headset to do that, and I didn't move it back. No, I think this guy is probably getting ready to shit the bed.
One bites
So
the dust.
yeah, but the thing is, those Vertigo Cyclones, man, they're only $10. So like, in grand scheme of life, if it, I've gotten probably 2 or 3 years, well, at least 2 years out of the thing. I mean, in the grand scheme of life, I can't complain.
I love
about
mine,
that.
so I can't either. I use them consistent. I've got some really nice DuPont lighters and things. I keep them in the drawer and use them for special occasions because I don't want them to break.
Oh, see, and that's the thing. You spend all that money and then you just don't even use it. I
fill it up because the butane's a little more expensive, and you want to make sure it stays healthy by using the correct butane and everything. It's a decision you've got to make.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, Ken, why don't you give me the rundown of let's talk your resume for a moment here. So you have some experience in event planning.
I do. I went to school for hospitality back in the late 80s, early 90s in UNLV, and graduated in 1990 with a hospitality degree.
That seems like a degree that Las Vegas would offer.
They do very well with it. It's actually they do it. They know their shit. So
yeah.
I graduated in the same class as Guy Fieri, so that was an interesting bit of trivia. Had several classes with him. He's a super guy, and just
and now you guys are both kind of, well, you more so, but you're both in the cigar industry.
Yeah, he can own the cigar industry. I can work for it. So there's a difference.
I mean,
but yes, we're in the same industry.
You needed to go win the next Food Network star, and then at that point you could have that could have been your skyrocket too.
That could have been me. Yes, I missed my boat by that much.
That much. Anyway, so okay.
But yeah, I got a hospitality degree. I've been in owning restaurants, working at restaurants, hotels, golf courses, catering events, and things like that my whole life. So that's basically how I met your dad, from that story from 2 episodes ago that I did.
Yep.
So, so it is something that I do have a good understanding, and I do pretty well. So it's just another one of those things that just say, okay, I've done that. Now time to retire from that, and let's see what else we can do. But you never forget those traits.
Well, no, and that's the thing, and I've noticed it when I've been at your place, how, you're very conscious of all of your customers and taking care of all your customers and making sure they have what they want and have what they need in order to be having a good time. Almost at times to the detriment of your ability to relax and have a good time too.
At least that's my perception on that. You were very perceptive of that, because that is true. If I'm here, even if I'm not working and I have either my daughter working or Monkey working, and I'm here, I still do the same thing. It's very hard for me just to sit and relax, although I am getting better.
Okay.
It's still very difficult. If I see something that needs to be done, I'm going to get up. I'm not going to ask someone to do it. I'll get up and do it. If I see someone needs a drink, I'll get up and grab them a drink. What I'm trying to build here is a place where everyone can be comfortable. And for me to be comfortable, I have to have everyone else comfortable. So, and for me to relax, I have to be by myself. So there's a difference. It's very difficult in situation for me to come and just sit down and enjoy being at my own facility, even though I know everyone's taking care of it. It's just that you see things that they don't see sometimes because you're different angles, you're just in different spots at the different times. It's getting to the point where I'm now starting to be able to calm down a little bit, because people are getting my points where they see what I'm seeing. And plus their eyes are opening up too and seeing what they need. Monkey, I don't have to worry about. He's been doing this almost as long as I have, and he was out of Arizona. He put together PGA events and big, huge events all over Arizona. So I know he knows what he's doing, and he's got an amazing following. So here in the shop when he works. So I just think that it's all coming together, and I'm at some point in the near future, maybe not at Pulpit Fest that's coming up, but maybe sometime, hopefully right after that, I can start relaxing at my own.
Well, I hope you get to relax at Pulpit Fest a little bit. I mean, that would be the ideal opportunity.
I
So
will be
let's talk.
there.
I know you will be there. So let's talk about that. Not specifically Pulpit Fest, but just in general. So like when you're looking at an event, there's
Okay.
a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different aspects that you have to look at and manage. And where does that kind of start? What is your when you're sitting down and you're like, okay, well, we'll use Pulpit Fest in a general sense.
Okay.
Let's not maybe get into specifics, but like when you're sitting down, what's the first thing that you're like, okay, this is the first thing we have to hammer out?
The, well, I remember when our conversation started back at it was TPE with
Mm-hmm.
Trey Mac?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually sat down with Trey Mac and kind of brought it up. And then Nick was going around doing his interviews. And when he got back, Trey and I sat down with him and said, hey, what would you think about something doing a event either at my shop or someone else's shop, but in a different state? What I had to propose, what I had to come up to was what kind of numbers are we going to have to make sure the
Yeah,
facility that I have can fix and work with the amount of people that are going to show up.
for sure.
And that was the first thing I did. I had to make sure, okay, is it logistically possible if he has, heck, we're only, what, two people from being sold out, right? Three people at this
I
point.
we're 2 or 3 away from sellout. Yeah. So
So,
I mean,
which,
we're there,
yeah. So if you guys are interested, I would definitely make sure you get in touch with Mr. Nick here. If there needs to be an add-on or two, we might be able to fudge some room. But please get your names on that list so you can be part of this.
for sure.
But with that being,
Eventbrite.com is where
yep.
you can go and check that out.
Pull up Pulpit Fest 2024, and hopefully there'll still be some tickets. And if not, you know how to get in touch with Nick and or myself, and I can get in touch.
We'll see what we can do, but it's getting to the point though where the closer we get, there's not going to be that fudge room because that's the thing, man. There's a capacity to inside your shop, there's a capacity to your patio,
Patio.
and there's only so much of that just past the patio room that we can comfortably take up because you do have other businesses in the
Yeah.
plaza there that you share with that we can't just dominate the place. So
No, not this year at least. I've got
not
to play
not
nice
this
in
yeah.
my first year and a half, 2 years of being open. After that, we'll say next year if we
Yeah,
come back, we'll see.
yeah, it'll be all ours anyway.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, and so yeah, head count.
So head count to me is
That's
primarily the most important thing I have to worry about just for logistics and making sure safety's there. Because if fire marshal comes in, we've got to make sure we're all copacetic and everything. After that, it just now becomes a planning session of what's happening when and what we need and how to make this as good as possible for the limitations that we have.
for sure.
And with
And
that,
so,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
I was gonna say with that, that's where a lot of conversation comes in because that way we all can get on the same page before someone goes and starts trying to do something too far in one direction and then it gets shot down later on. Having those upfront conversations about where our all of our visions are comes into play very strong.
For
And
sure.
that kind of
And planning out, the kind of the yeah, no, you're right. Kind of planning out the vision of the event because we had talked about. I mean, there's been a lot of different conversations about how to incorporate different manufacturers into the
I'm
event.
about to be interrupted. I'm sorry, my
You're
UPS
fine.
guy's here, I think. Hold on.
Oh, you're fine. What can Brown do for you? You know what? This is a good time to go ahead and talk about My Monthly Cigars. This would normally be the time that I give some information about My Monthly Cigars, but I've hired that out this week, so take it away.
My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. It comes in a variety of different size boxes at affordable prices. Use offer code PULPIT and get free shipping on your first box and 20% off any items in the online store at mymonthlycigars.com.
That's offer code PULPIT. Thanks.
Such a
And while
pleasant
you're
voice that is.
what?
That was such a pleasant voice. She always has
I
such a
know.
pleasant voice.
Such a pleasant voice. And while you're
Isn't
over
it?
there, my monthly cigars, make sure you check out the fucking good coffee. And I don't know if he has fucking good cigars left or not. If he does, I'm sure there will be a link. But realistically, last I knew, those were flying off the site. So if you haven't ordered yourself a fucking good cigar, you might get lucky, but you also might be shit out of luck. So check that out.
Oh, it's
Anyway,
one way, lucky or not, shit out of luck or very lucky, same thing.
either which way. So, uh, and speaking of Pinky, she has generously agreed to donate a signed 8x10 photo that will be auctioned or raffled off at PulpitFest. So there's one thing that people can look forward to that I can go ahead and announce today about PulpitFest.
Wow.
Yes.
So,
yes. So we got that coming.
On an upcoming possible event podcast, we might be able to say something else. There's going to be another auction that's going to go on as well.
I love it.
I'll
That'll be
leave it at
an
that.
actual auction. That'll be a big deal.
You know what
right?
I'm
Are we
talking
doing?
about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Are we going to auction
So,
or raffle that? I don't remember what we.
it's going to be a raffle, actually,
Raffle.
and
Okay,
it's
raffle.
actually the raffle starting. I'm starting it next week, Monday.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I'm going to have a lot of people putting in for this. So,
well, but that doesn't mean that people don't have an opportunity to win. Just means how do they get in on the raffle whenever it's time?
I'm trying to figure that out
Okay, all right.
with your listeners. So that's why I was going to say that I wanted to kind of just feel it out there, but I'm trying to figure out how I can get you guys involved if you want to get involved in this and get your information and buy the ticket, and that way you can be part of the winning, possibly the winning person.
Which
But
would
it's going
be
to
it's
announce
going to be
of what it's going to be.
It's going to be super nice.
So I think this is going to be good. I don't know how to do it online yet because I don't have an online site.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll figure this out.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
There's going to be a lot of premature teasing going on in this episode, guys. This is kind of the way it is.
It's like a bad porn film.
Yeah, one that just doesn't quite end right. Anyway, so yeah, so we've been talking about how getting the vision is correct. And so like one aspect was how do we incorporate, different manufacturers into the event? Do we have like almost like host like a multi-vendor thing to where everybody has tables and all that? And quite frankly, I don't think that really struck any of us as something that I think would be great.
Yeah, going back to where we started this, also size is an issue. If I had a
For
larger
sure.
facility, that may have been a good option. But with my footprint and with the way our village is set up, I don't have that option of putting tables around without getting other people outside of us involved. And
yeah.
I'm trying to keep it as clean as possible. As I said, this is the first year I'm doing something like this, so I want to make sure I'm playing within the guidelines that I have provided for me as well.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think that's the right way to do it. And and here's the other thing. Not to diminish, other manufacturers, but obviously there have been some specifically Villiger and Aladino that have sponsored the show, and we kind of wanted to figure out a way to highlight and work with them at this event because they're part of the pulpit family, and so it's kind of like how do we really do that? And so and both have been great. Renee has stepped up big time and agreed that he wants to be the presenting sponsor. So this is PulpitFest 2024 brought to you by Villiger Cigars. Really in that regard. So and I know that Renee I've had him on the show. We've talked about it. He had his choice between Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival and PulpitFest, and so he and his local rep for your area, they will be coming and spending PulpitFest with us. So
Hector's a hell of a good
awesome
guy too. So I think you guys are in for a great time with them, and whoever else might show up. I think it would be a fantastic, fun time. These guys know their business. Not only Villiger business, but they know the cigar industry unbelievably well, as you've seen on the previous podcasts that they've done.
Yeah.
So,
and so in terms of working with other manufacturers, I mean, because let's be real, this is a great opportunity for a lot of manufacturers to put their brand in front of my core and kind of feverish listenership. I mean, these are the super fans that are coming to this thing, So, this is a good opportunity to put yourself in front of a lot of great smokers, and we've had a few that have jumped at the opportunity. Obviously, still reaching out to more to see what they're interested in. But let's put it this way, guys: the goodie bag this year is going to be really, really nice.
Should be fairly nice. Yeah, I think you guys will enjoy this.
So,
So,
and then, but in terms of like other aspects, like what I feel like there's so many other aspects that we need to consider too. Like for example, I mentioned to you the other day that I've had a few people, talk about the Chimay blue that you carry.
Yep.
And so like for that, for example,
we're
preparing
for that, keeping more product in, getting that in, getting my regular stock built up enough to handle the people that are coming is another issue. I've got people are having a hard time fulfilling orders right now because of PCA. They're still back ordering on that. So I'm still trying to make sure I've got enough of everything that I need, plus what we need for the event to make this a smooth event. And unfortunately, I'm going to put it out there now. If there's certain things that I don't have while you guys are here, I will get it and still ship it to you.
Okay.
But I don't want you to say, hey, I'm trying to get everything in. It's just it's a matter of what can come in at that time in this time frame.
Logistics. No, we get it.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that I'm not going to put my parishioners that are showing up to PulpitFest on the spot, but I think that it's one of those things. There's a certain level of responsibility that comes from everybody for this. And in terms of the attendees, the responsibility is that Ken has been gracious enough to not only host this event, but there's a lot of financial outlay, to do something like this. And so we as consumers, be it PulpitFest at Ken's place, be it the New England Cigar Festival at Dave's place, be it the Kansas City Cigar Festival at Diebel's, wherever you go and there's one of these events taking place, I feel like as a consumer we have the responsibility to spend not spend to where like you're hurting your finances, but spend spend heavy.
Yeah, spend responsibly.
Heavy but responsibly.
Yeah. So and I being a shop owner, that does make sense, and that's what we expect. Understanding everyone's not in the same situation, and that's fair, but don't over expect with what you're going to go in for. Know what you're ready to spend, and don't hurt yourself, but try to do the right thing for everybody involved. Have a good time, be participating in everything, and let's just have fun. I'm here to help Nick grow. I'm here to help myself grow. I'm here to meet a bunch of good people. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
And that's the thing. They're all good people. And so I think they get it, and the other thing is, I don't know in terms of the number of attendees. I don't know how many of them have ever been to your shop, but I know for me, when I go to a shop that I've never been to or that I don't get to frequently, I look at all the stuff that I don't have around me at home, and I go heavy on that stuff because that's the stuff that I don't get the opportunity to hit up often, And so I know there's plenty of cigars at your place I don't see around here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm hitting those up.
Well, I thank you. That's how I travel. When I travel, I very rarely buy anything that I can get in my own shop or somewhere locally. I'm always out to try something new and have a new experience. And that way also when people come in and say, hey, I've smoked this in my area, I know what that's like. So I know what to compare it to with what I've got.
Yeah.
To me, the educational process is still one of the foremost that I go for, and knowing the product that's available in different regions so I can help people who travel here because it is a high tourist destination.
Well, and a lot of my listeners, part of the reason that Villiger's teamed with me and the podcast is because they're looking to, expand their footprint in North America, get the word out that they are here and they exist and that they have these cigars, and kind of become part of the conversation. And so, but they've really heavily concentrated on the East Coast. You're obviously on the East Coast. And so there's a lot of my listeners that are coming from outside of your area that perhaps don't have Villiger in their humidors at home. Whereas you have a great selection of Villiger normally, but then with Renee there, it's going to be, that much more. But like, you know, anybody who's like been on the fence or hasn't tried a Villiger, this is your opportunity, man. This is smoke the hell out of them. And if you like it, there's going to be backstock. You can get more.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And then also, guys, just keep watching this video that we're doing right now. If you're watching the YouTube thingy, there will be kind of things that you'll notice in it. You have to extrapolate them yourself because we're not going to talk about them, about what's going to happen at PulpitFest. So,
okay. Are you teasing things that I don't even know?
I'm teasing things that you don't even. Yes, you know all of them, but I'm just not going to say them because it'd be way too obvious then.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is true. This is true. Another brand that I think people are going to be excited to try at your place that is not one. I mean, you are literally the only place that I've ever encountered it is Didier.
Yes.
I think that's going to be a hit for a lot of people.
I think so too. I think once people have tried it, it is a little more pricey at the cigar. So
it is.
Just think about that before you get here. If you do want to try it, you might have to budget a little bit, take away one other cigar that you're going to get.
Because what are the MSRP?
They range from 25 to 47.
Okay. So they're kind of Davidoff prices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very much. And just fantastic cigars. I've got them from very mild. I've got a specialty blend that they have called the Julia that is perfect for if you're out smoking with a group of business folks and you don't want to have that nasty smoke in your mouth flavor. This one will literally not leave any kind of taste or flavor in your mouth. It's been processed to leave no smoke flavor in your mouth. It's a fantastic cigar. I've got the high-end one called the Solomon, which is an unbelievable cigar. That is the most pricey one. And so I think you have a heck of a selection. Sorry, my phone's ringing.
You're fine.
You've got a heck of a selection to choose from. I think it's going to take all of your profiles and anyone inside a basic cigar profile. You got the milds to mediums to fulls, and it's a great choice to try at least one of.
Perfect. Well, see, and that's the thing. That's another brand that people can get from you, and I can almost guarantee they're probably not seeing them around their local shops at least not around any that I've been to. So, but going back to planning the event, I mean, it's little things. Like even I was just doing a quick Google search about this before you and I got on, and one of the suggestions was make sure that you have a photographer, because if you're doing your event, you're going to be wrapped up in the day, and you're not going to have anybody. You're not going to have nearly the photos and the pictures that you want, and at the end of it. And so that's something that I was thinking about too. It's like, man, you know what? I might have to have a couple of parishioners pull them to the side and just be like, hey, take a shit ton of pictures, and then we just compile them all together and have that kind of thing or something. I don't know, but it's that sort of thing. It's little things like that you don't even think about that go into events.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The history that or the memories you make, you want to keep and show, because it's going to show for other people to show what you can do, what you shouldn't do, and things like that in the future.
Exactly.
The parishioners are going to keep getting more and more, and you're going to have more and more PulpitFest. So you want to keep building on what you've learned and what you've figured out that doesn't work. So things like that that's what memories are made of, dude.
For sure. By the way, I saw a picture in the parishioners group just the other, or maybe it was yesterday. I believe Justin was smoking some gigantic horse's leg cigar sitting out in front of your place.
The new Lunatic 10 by 100.
Yeah. So you've even got those.
I've got those. I'm literally sitting on 30 of those.
My God.
Wonder what we're
Well,
going to do with those.
I wonder what we're gonna do
Huh.
with those. Anyway, it's a hell of an ash you got going on there. Let's
Isn't
talk
that
about the
nice?
Yaya. That's a nice.
That's,
You know what, Ken? You got a tight ash.
hey, read this, baby.
Tap that. There you go. Anyway, no, that's a nice looking ash you got there. Let's talk about the Yaya just a little bit here. I really like this cigar. It is a nice medium bodied cigar. It has just a little hint of pepper to the smoking experience, but it's almost also kind of a caramely
Yes,
kind of thing going on with it. And
very smooth.
I don't know if maybe that's the color of the orange on the band, kind of impacting my impression of the caramely thing. But it is a very smooth, very, very good cigar.
A lot of flavor. Yeah, I really like this cigar. I actually bought a box of them for myself, and this is one of my go-tos now. And I very
Oh,
rarely have a go-to cigar.
a lot of oh God.
Well, glad you
The
guys
pe-
didn't see that.
the pepper on the retro hail. Holy shit, man. That hits. Um, wow.
Yes.
See,
Yeah.
okay, all right. I don't want to hear a goddamn word from you, Ken.
Wow.
Oh
Thanks.
man, it
That was
lingers too. It lingers.
that's almost like a red cayenne pepper
I
kind of
know.
bite.
That see, and that's the
It
thing.
hits you
It's so different than the smoking experience. That's the thing. The smoking experience, it's nice, smooth and easy,
smooth,
and then
mild. Yeah, it almost
and
feels
then
like a mild. It doesn't feel like a medium, but you do that. Yes, it
oh,
does.
but you do that and it hits. It hits.
It's tasty.
I like it. I dig it. Um, anyway, so that's another thing. So in terms of the event, obviously people are not going to come to Pulpit Fest and we're just going to like sit there and stare at each other and smoke for 3 days. You know, there's going to be,
Oh, you
I mean,
can if you want to. If that's what
you
you're here
can
for,
if you want
you
to.
have fun doing it.
If you want to do that,
Yeah.
by all means. But there's going to be stuff happening. There's going to be,
Look,
you
events,
it's not going to be like a super
challenges.
down to the minute agenda,
No.
but there is going to be kind of an agenda of items that we're gonna hit. There's gonna be check boxes, things that we want to do, some games.
Yes, there'll be schedule of events that come out that will give you something to do. But what we're also doing is a lot of people have to fly in here, but not everyone's from the Florida area.
For
I also
sure.
want you to experience the East Coast, Northeast coast of Florida. So I would love for you guys to go to the beach, come back and tell me stories. Go to St. Augustine, go drive around, go see it and explore, and then come back at night and we can sit down and we can all talk about what we've done and I can give suggestions. I've got a bunch of my members who are going to be here. A bunch of the listeners from this show are going to be here. I've got
Yeah,
at least 3 or 4 other store owners that are going to be here from around the country that are
really.
coming in. Yeah,
That'll
2
be
from
fun.
Texas. I've got my friends that I met in on the Honduras trip to Aladino
Mm-hmm.
that are coming in from Texas and Louisiana and things like that. So this this should be a trip for you to either parlay and getting into knowing people while you travel, and then also learning and trying to figure out what you like in other forms of cigars that you can get from your own area.
Yeah,
There should be a learning experience all the way around
I love
and
it.
fun. It
I
should be just fun. It just let's have
I
fun.
I don't think there's going to be any question about it being fun. Now, and I will admit, this is a proof of concept kind of deal for me. This is a way like for those of you who have been listening to the show for a while, you've heard about Pulpit Fest in previous years. Really what it was is it was an excuse for everybody to come together in St. Louis and let me take them around town and we'll go and have a couple of great meals. We'll hang out at Top Shooters. We'll go to a couple of shops and we'll have a nice time. It was kind of it was very casual. This is much more structured, organized event. And so this is a different experience even for me, putting this on and I'm optimistic, slightly anxious, optimistic about how this is going to go, you know. But I think this is one of those things that if it goes as well as I think it's going to go, I think the sky's the limit as to where we can take it from here.
And I think that's what Trey and I and you in our conversation when we were at TPE, what we're setting the floor plan for, because you're doing nothing but growing. And we need to get something down to where the more you grow and the more people participate, we're going to have to get you some sort of structure, because if not, it just turns into chaos.
Yeah,
And it gets things very hectic. And while you're in an event like this, you don't want to be hectic. You want to have the ability to still sit, talk, mingle, and let everyone know that you guys can do what you need to do, but here's what we're going to do.
for sure, for sure.
And it
Well,
just makes things a lot more relaxing.
for sure. I don't know. I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be a very interesting experience and experiment. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I said there's going to be some games. Obviously Renee and Hector are going to be there. So we're going to be guys. If you have questions about the industry, you've got a guy right there that you're going to be able to sit and chat with. I mean, because that's the other nice thing about Renee kind of bringing Hector along is from a event standpoint, you need that presence there that is recognizing that this is to be blunt, a sales opportunity. You're presenting your product to consumers with the thought that hopefully they enjoy it and they will purchase product, and that sort of thing. But so Hector can kind of, help with that. But what's nice is that gives Renee the ability to kind of just sit, chill, and be the personality and talk with the parishioners and answer questions and share stories and, just kind of chill out. And I think that's going to work out really, really well.
And Hector is unbelievably knowledgeable as well. He's been in the industry a very long time and knows a ton of people and a ton about the product. So this should be a great pairing right there alone. If no one else shows up, that those two alone should fill enough of the informational void that we have with our cigar knowledge that would make this very, very enjoyable.
Well, we're definitely working to see if we can get a few more people, from the industry there. It's one of those things that, given the fact that the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival is the same Saturday as PulpitFest, there is a little bit of calendar finagling we're having to work on. Yeah, but that's okay. We're making it happen. We're making it work. It's coming together.
Yes, we are. And I definitely already have one or two more people planned that will not be named at this point.
Okay.
If you guys don't forget, if you guys are traveling in, make sure you bring a checked bag, because you're going to have stuff that you'll probably want to get home that you will not be able to carry home in your bag.
Therein lies another. That's the event planner in you thinking there, Ken. It's like, you're right. No, bring an extra bag. Have a checked bag. Have something that you can check and fly home with, because I mean, theoretically, if you're getting items, I mean, you're gonna want to look. Cat out of the bag. Can I say one thing?
It's your show, dude. You can say whatever you want.
All right, I'm gonna say one thing. You're gonna have lighters that you're going home with, guys. So like, make sure that you have a checked bag, because you can't put a lighter in a carry-on, and you're not gonna want to like have this lighter get taken by a TSA agent. So
I think you're gonna like it. It's nothing super spectacular, but it's
a lighter. It is what it is.
It's got Nick's face on it.
Those of you in the YouTube just saw that. No, it does not have my face on it. No, nobody needs a lighter with my face on it. But no, but you are going to get a lighter, and so it's one of those things where you don't, like I said, I've lost lighters to TSA agents. It sucks. Too. It was TPE a couple years back. I was coming back, and one of the companies had a one of their little cigar bags with like their samples of cigars, but they had a lighter in the bag with the cigars, and I had no idea. It was just in the bag, in my greater bag with all the cigars that I collected at the show. And sure enough, that lighter triggered, and they took it, and it didn't have any butane in it, but when you did the ignition, it still would spark, and that was enough. They said that I can't take it on the plane. I'd already checked my bag, so it went in a garbage can, and that sucked really bad because it was a nice cigar or a lighter.
I've lost several lighters as well traveling over the last 2 years, so it's not fun, and it gets expensive if you have to mail them home. $50 a lighter.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, who wants to do that? So, anyway, no, to your point, have a check bag, have something.
Yes.
when I go
Or
to
go to the
TP,
post office and mail them. There's a post office very close to the shop. You can do
there you
that as
go.
well. So if you don't want to take the expense, they'll offset each other. So just figure out one of those ways. But you'll have things you probably want to mail or ship home.
Well, see, that's the nice thing with Southwest is you get 2 free check bags. Depending on whoever is taking to fly in. I mean, I know I'm flying Southwest in, but it's one of those things that you get some check bags for free, and you'll be able to manage that. So it'll all work out. But yeah,
That's an impressive Ash.
that is an impressive. Is that the halfway? Nearly the halfway point of the cigar.
Just under halfway. Yeah, it's about a third.
You have made it almost. You have made it almost halfway on your Yaya with a solid ash. No ashing.
No ashing, not at all.
That's gonna be one hell of a party foul when that finally crashes.
I just hope it doesn't fall on my keyboard on my phone, my computer.
Yeah, maybe don't hold it
back
over
up.
that.
Yeah, I'm moving back.
Yeah, but don't hold it over your lap either, because that's
no. Yeah, that would be painful.
That's also problematic. Yeah.
Yes.
I have not been doing the longest ash on mine, and in fact, I've gotten to the point that I've taken the bands off. It's smoking really, really well though. I'm digging it. I'm enjoying it.
The burn line on it is tremendous.
There has been a little bit of a breeze coming through here, and even with that little bit of a breeze, the burn line on where's the camera? There it is.
There you
go. Is super tight. I have my iPad positioned the opposite way, so that's why it looks like I'm looking over this direction a lot. Because like normally the camera's there, but this time it's over there. So anyway, I didn't think of that when I set it up. Anyway, so I don't know. I feel like we're being a little vague. We have to be a little vague because this is a little still kind of early.
We want you guys to have some sort of fun and adventure when you get here, and not to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, we want you guys to come and have a great time and have things to do, but we don't want to dominate all of your time because of the situation you're going to be in.
For sure. So Google the Palm Coast area. Google Palm Coast, Google St. Augustine, and Google Daytona. And Flagler Beach, I guess, as well.
Flagler Beach would be a great one. Yep. Great restaurants. It's all mom and pop restaurants. Very few of them are not good.
What was that? Golden Lion? Was that the
Golden
place?
Lion, yep.
Oh my God, guys, if you want some of the best fish and chips, Golden Lion. Ken took me there for dinner the one night, and holy shit, it was so freaking, and it's relatively inexpensive for the massive amount of food that you get.
It was $15 for the fish and chips, and it's two huge pieces.
Huge.
And great French fries, and it's sitting right across the ocean. You've got a perfect view of the ocean.
It's literally the restaurant, A1A highway, beach, and ocean. So you're getting ocean, and it's an open air restaurant. So you're getting the sea breeze coming in the whole time you're eating, and it's wonderful.
And it's got an upstairs, so you have absolutely no obstructions to the ocean, and it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we have several of those restaurants in the area that are right across from the ocean that you can go to. Up in St. Augustine, there's some fantastic restaurants.
Columbia has another location in St. Augustine. And for anyone who's ever heard my stories about going to Ybor City in Tampa there, Columbia is a great Cuban restaurant. I mean, just lights out Cuban restaurant. And but not just Columbia. I mean, when I was in St. Augustine, I did kind of a progressive lunch, kind of bopped around to different places and had different things. And there's a neat little Irish pub in St. Augustine that I had some Irish coffee at. Yeah, oh my God, dude. And that's like right off the bay or the little thing there. So where you're sitting there and watching the boats go by, and I mean, it's just such a gorgeous area, and the amount of history in St. Augustine.
Oldest city in America.
I mean, that's the thing. If anybody's a history buff, there's one of those cicadas sitting right there on the freaking thing.
He's staring at you. Look,
he's chilling out on the edge of my storage section of my carport here. For those of you, just prior to recording, Ken and I were talking about the cicadas and how they've all decided that they're going to start coming up now. They have not been coming up for me prior, but as I'm sitting out here, I'm counting about 16 shells on the floor of my carport, and there's one of the damn things just
And
chilling
Nick
out. But
loves cicadas like
oh, it's probably, you know what? It's not my most hated bug because they don't come around too often. June bugs, fucking June bugs. But
they
anyway,
can't even get their month right.
I know. They were coming out in late April, for God's sake, stupid bastards. Anyway, no. So going back to St. Augustine and the history, you're right. Oldest city in the United States. But like they were finding a boat that was buried when I was there in
Yeah.
October.
Yeah, they've actually fully excavated it. It was a 22-foot dinghy to run from the Spanish galleons to the shore that was totally intact still.
Wow.
So they haven't even released the land yet still for them to
Wow.
start to continue building.
Interesting.
Yeah, hopefully they said soon they should be able to.
So that's the point, guys. There's so much to do here. So obviously, Pulpit Fest is what we're hoping draws you to the area. But while you're here, check out the region. I mean, they filmed Flipper, for God's sakes, right near you too.
Yeah, Marineland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you who
there's a
watched
lot
Flipper,
to do, guys, and that's the point that I'm trying to make is that you're coming here for Pulpit Fest, but take advantage of what you got while you're here because you've got so much so close. There's so much history, and if you're into racing, you need to go to Daytona and take a look at the Speedway, and even sign up if you're coming. Sign up for one of the tours. Hands down, for an hour and a half tour, excellent. So
very cool.
things like that, yeah, and then bring back stories. That's what we're here for at night. Everyone come back at night and gather, have a few beers and smoke a few cigars and tell everyone what you've done.
Share your stories.
Yeah. And meet new friends.
It'll be wonderful. And then, just the European Village itself, explore around there. Check out the other places there. Because
you're going to have to, and that's all I'm going to have to say. You have to go and explore within the village. It'll make it worth your while.
You're really, really going to want to explore the places in the village.
So
we'll just leave put it at that. We'll tease it at that. More details to come on that. But for right now, you're going to want to explore the village. It'll be, yes, as Ken said, it'll be worth your while. Anyway, so do you have anything else you want to throw in on this topic?
I think we're good on this one. I think
we've teased the hell out of it enough.
Yeah. But also, I will say this. I am a cigar shop and I want your business. But also, if you guys are into cigars, there's quite a few cigar shops around. Not within 20 miles of me, but if you go to St. Augustine and Daytona, there are other places you might want to suggestively hit as well. And I am going to throw one out there. Island Gym just opened a brand new place in St. Augustine. If people like Island Gyms and Oscar, you got to go.
Okay.
I've been there twice already, so.
And that's one thing I will give you a lot of credit for, Ken, is that obviously, it's important for me for this to be, a win-win-win for everybody involved. And there are 3 wins for a reason, but I won't get into that now. I can tell you later, talk to you, explain it later. But one of the wins obviously is you, and I want to make sure that the economic impact of the event is worthwhile for you, and that's where I'm counting on my parishioners to come through on that one. Is this is the slow period of time for you. August is the slow period. This is, guys, for those of you in the bulk of the country, the winter time is the slow time for shops, and I encourage you always to go and frequent your shops in the wintertime because they're seeing lighter sales and they need your business. Well, in this case, the dead of the summer is the really slow time for Ken and for shops in Florida. And so this is the time that they need our business. They need our revenue. And so it's one of those things where we're doing this kind of strategic. It works out for my calendar, but it's kind of strategic as well, because this is an opportunity to bring in some revenue to Ken's place in a slower time of year and allow him to reap a benefit during a time that maybe it would be slow. And so, yeah, I want to make sure that so I guess my point though is it's very magnanimous of you to be promoting other shops and all that, and I think that's great. And let's be real, my parishioners, they're cigar guys. They're gonna want to check out other
Other
places too.
shops.
But guys, when you are doing your shopping, I'm not saying don't go to those other shops, but I'm saying if you're gonna take your budget and portion it out appropriately, make sure Ken gets the lion's share. Just for me, make sure Ken gets the lion. He's not saying that. I'm saying it. Make sure Ken gets the lion's share because
Thank you.
he's the one that's putting forth the ridiculous amount of effort here to make sure Pulpit Fest goes well, and I want to make sure that he reaps the rewards.
I got to be on phone calls with Nick a lot, so that yeah, please help out.
Yeah, he's got to put up with me. So anyway, why don't we now go ahead and do this? It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by Villiger. Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. Speaking of Villiger Cigars, they're at Ken's place. We've already covered that. You can get a whole bunch of them. You can stock up big time, so make sure you do. That way you have them in your humidor when you go home.
We might even have some specialty ones from them at that point too.
Ooh, fancy.
I can say it, the Villiger Miami. So I'm trying to see if I can get my hands on a few boxes of those. So
I know a guy. I think
do you?
I think you know a guy too.
I think I can make a phone call.
I think we can probably see what we can do, assuming that they've got them to divvy out. But I think
I should reach out. Yes, I should reach out.
Probably. So Ken, what have you been watching lately? Anything caught your eye and been entertaining?
Actually, yeah, Netflix. I've actually found a friend of mine called me up and said, "This is what's fun, silly show," but it was really enjoyable. It was a Netflix special called "The Dead Boys Detective Agency."
Oh,
And
I've seen that on my Netflix and it's on my list, but I haven't watched it yet.
it was very entertaining.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun. It was like, okay, it started off a little cheesy, and then you get into the characters, and you're like, wow, okay, this is actually pretty good.
So
So
that's a spin-off of the show on Netflix called The Sandman.
yes, it was. If you like the Sandman, this will come up on your feeds. Yes,
Okay. All right. Because I did watch
yes,
The Sandman, and that was a
that was
really
excellent.
good show. Yeah, that was
Yeah, I'm
excellent.
waiting for that's next season supposed to be released. Hopefully, I think soon, if I remember
Oh,
reading it
good.
right. I
Good.
like that show. Yeah,
That was a good show. I'm looking forward to that coming back. But okay, I will have to check out the Dead Boys Detective
yeah.
Agency.
And I just started Fallout.
Dude, I love that show so much.
I just finished the first episode 2 days ago, and I haven't had time to go any further. But it seems to look like it's going to be great.
Walton Goggins is amazing in that show. He's the cowboy guy in the very beginning,
Yep.
with his
Yep.
daughter. And
Yep.
Holy shit. I mean, I like that guy in a lot of things. Have you ever seen Vice Principals? It's on HBO.
I don't believe so. No.
He's in that as well. He's with Danny McBride. And basically the principal, they work at like a high school, and the principal of the high school retires, and they kind of are vying for the job. And they end up bringing in like this new lady that takes over as principal.
You talked about this before on the show.
Dude,
That's
it's an
right.
amazing show. And he is so devious and conniving, and just he's the guy you love to hate in that show. I mean, like, he's awesome. So yeah, I really, really do. And then he's Baby Billy in The Righteous Gemstones, and I think that's probably the best character on that show. So
if I'm not mistaken, he's been in a few FX special shows. I think he was in The Shield.
He was in The Shield. Yep, he was in The Shield.
And that was one of my favorite shows back then, and loved it. He's been in several others that I used to watch back a long time ago that you're like, okay, he's a great B actor. But he's better than that. So,
and he really shines in Fallout. Like, you watch him in that. Trust me, as you move along, you watch him in that and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. What I really like about that show too is that you've got this interesting dynamic of it's in the future. It's this post-apocalyptic kind of future thing going on. But if you look at all the technology, it's very retro, kind of like atomic age kind of tech, design sense and art style and everything. I dig the hell out of that too.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that I've got questions on, but I was told it's going to be all answered.
It's answered.
Show.
I will say this. I'm not ruining anything by saying this. I have heard they're making another season. I am pissed off that they waited to drop the first season to see how it did before they decided to do a second season, because let me tell you, it definitely tees up for a big second season. And it's like, I am now waiting on pins and needles for that to eventually come, because like, I need more in the worst way. Like it gets you just up to the point where you're like, yes, let's go. And then it's time for a second season. So
yeah, and that's why I'm looking forward to getting into that. I have some time this afternoon. I'm planning to watch 1 or 2 episodes of it. But we've also been watching another show called The Bear.
I've seen the first season. I have not seen any others though.
And that's a love-hate relationship for me, that show.
Yeah.
There are things in life that when you go to work or when you're at home, there's certain things that trigger anxiety and things like that. With my background, watching the kitchen stuff.
Yeah.
My whole body, my wife's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll get through
it." I'll tell you. So Ed Sullivan talked about a movie on here when he was on recently, and I watched it. It's called Boiling Point. It's on Amazon. It's The Bear, but not as happy.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know if I can handle that.
It's a movie. It's about an hour and a half. And what's really cool is it's all one continuous shot. There's no cuts. So the whole time they did it start to finish, almost like a play, in that they had to nail their lines, and there were no cuts, no reshoots. They did it 3 times. From what Ed told me, they did it 3 times. They ended up using the second take, the second time through, as the movie. But they only did it one continuous shot. So from a technical standpoint, it's actually a really cool movie. But from an interesting stand, it is a very interesting movie as well. But yeah, is it
more of a documentary, or is it more of
actual show? It's a night in the life of this restaurant and what's going on at this restaurant.
Gotcha.
And there's a lot going on there, and you learn, you watch it. And I've never worked in restaurants or food service or anything like that. And so even for me, I'm watching it going like, I'm anxious about this, So as somebody who's done it, this might trigger some anxiety for you.
One of the things I told my kids, I don't care what you do in life, just have fun and be good. You have to work in hospitality for a minimum of 6 months, just so you understand what not to do to people. Because it's amazing if you've never been on that side, and to see what the hospitality industry goes through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
It's very, very eye-opening to watch it from the other side, or be part of it from the other side. It gives you a totally different perspective on life and how to treat people.
For sure. Probably the closest I came was my high school 2 years working at the movie theater. I mean, that's probably the closest I came. I don't know if I count the concession stand at the movie theater for food service, although I did smell like popcorn every night when I went home. But but anyway, such is life.
That can go so poorly with. I had so many things to go off on that one. I was just gonna leave it alone. Just gonna leave it alone.
Okay, yeah, just leave that be. No, I obviously traveled, went out to Indy this weekend, so I really haven't really watched.
You got to spend time with your dad, didn't you?
I did. I got to go to the race, and this is the Indy Grand Prix. So they do it at the Indianapolis Speedway, but it's the road course. And so we went out there and watched the race, as we do on Mother's Day weekend every year. And that was fun. And I did rewatch last night the movie The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey. That's back on Netflix now. And I wanted to watch it because they've got a show on Netflix called The Gentleman that's kind of a spin-off of that movie.
Yep.
and I wanted to watch the movie again before I watched the show. So
I've seen that. That's actually really a good choice of picking of timing too, because I'm just doing the exact same thing. I have that queued up as my next thing to watch.
yep.
So
It's such a cool movie. There's that level of just like smoothness to that movie, you know?
yeah,
And Hugh Grant is just so damn funny in it.
we just watched you guys want a funny movie to watch? Stupid but funny. Netflix
Yeah.
just came out with a movie that Jerry Seinfeld just put out called
Unfrosted.
Yes.
I love that movie.
Wasn't it fun?
Dude, some people are shitting
The
on it, and
cameos. The
there's
cameos in it were
so
unreal.
many people in it.
Comedians that came out in that. You're just like,
Mhm.
wow. It was
Mhm.
hilarious. And
I
Schumer did
kind
a
of,
great job.
Schumer, and I'm not a big Amy Schumer fan,
Uh-huh.
but she did a great job.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Melissa McCarthy fan.
Oh,
She
she
did a
did.
great job.
Yeah.
You know, Peter Dinklage as the head of the Milkman Mafia.
The Mafia.
Dude, that was amazing. He comes walking out. I'm like, oh, it's Peter Dinklage, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Christian Slater was in it.
yep.
The boss,
Hugh,
Jerry Seinfeld's boss.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, Gaffigan. Yep.
Yeah.
He was good.
Hugh Grant was the voice of Tony the Tiger, for
Tiger.
God's sakes. And at the end with the riot, oh
With
God,
all the what
all
are they?
the
The logos, the
mascots.
mascots.
Yeah, I was
That was
dying. I was
hilarious.
just absolutely dying. And then the Chef Boyardee and Jack LaLanne and all the
Elaine,
it was so
Schwinn.
ridiculous.
What's
Schwinn.
his
And what happened to poor Mr. Schwinn?
Schwinn. Yes.
uh,
Yes.
it's just
I lost the ash.
oh, did it finally? Where are you on the cigar? How far did you make it? Holy shit, man! You made it
Over half.
past the halfway point.
Yeah, over half.
That is a significant long ash on the Yaya there. Did it fall off or did you tap it off?
Cigar went out.
Oh, okay.
So I had to tap it out to light it.
Gotcha. Well, at least it didn't fall all over everything.
It didn't fall. It's one ash.
One solid ash in the look at that. Just one little ash turd in the ashtray.
Yep.
Nice.
So,
well, see, and
yeah.
that goes to the construction of the Yaya there. You know,
Definitely.
It's a very well constructed cigar that it can hold an ash like that.
And I will say, you brought up the DDAs earlier. I did a DDA Eli or Ellie. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but it's spelled the same way either way. But I don't know how he says it. That I got all the way down to the nub, one ash. I mean, I've only
managed to do that one time. I got about a third of the way through the cigar when I realized that I hadn't ashed it yet, and I decided I'm going to see how far I can take this. And I took it very, very very little nub left, and that was a 6x60 Perdomo champagne. And I took pictures as I did it, so I compiled them all to where I showed the ash progression in the photo. Nice. I'll have to send them to you when I'm done recording with you. But
put them on the parishioners page. Let everyone see.
I can do that. I posted to my Instagram this was 2020.
Oh, okay.
End of 2019, 2020 sometime that I did this. So if you go way back in my Instagram, but like that's pointless. I'll repost it to the parishioners group and people can see it and all that. But yeah, no, that's a good call. So
another great cigar to do that with is the leaf.
Yes,
the leaf holds its shape and holds its structural stability unbelievable.
I finally smoked that Leaf 10th anniversary with Pinky on the show recently.
One of my favorites.
And that is a fantastic. Do you know, is that a regular production or is that
right now it
limited?
Is, yes.
Okay.
From what I understanding is it's a regular production. So
good. No, that's a fantastic cigar.
And
you carry those too.
Yeah, I should have those here as well when you guys get here.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
now, one thing I do want to, going back real quick to our original topic, there is one thing I do want to talk about, And I know that some of my parishioners, sometimes when they attend events, will pack themselves a bottle. Now, given your liquor license situation, folks
Yes.
that are attending Pulpit Fest should not pack a bottle.
Well, let's be a little more. I'll be a little cryptic with what I'm saying, so just read between the lines. If you're gonna bring a bottle, keep it so I don't know that you're doing it. I'm gonna have some stuff for you, so camouflage might be an option. Just don't make it obvious. Don't pull it out in public. Don't do anything like that.
Well, I don't want anybody getting anybody in trouble, is my point. And
Oh,
obviously, you have a very great selection of beers and wines that pair
that I do.
wonderfully with cigars. And I think that that's something that is I feel like that's, maybe it's not, but I feel like it's unique to your shop that you do that. And so I think part of the experience that people coming to your shop should experience and should embrace is the opportunity to try pairing cigars with a different type of beverage, and maybe not their
Correct.
typical whiskey or bourbon, but maybe should embrace the idea of beers and cigar and wine as pairing alternatives. And so I would heavily encourage people to do that, because obviously, once again, that goes back to support the shop that's supporting the event. But like, okay, I mean, you're at least being, I was just going to say don't bring the bottle, but you're saying, camouflage.
If you have to do it, just be very discreet. So that's all I will say. If I see that you're not being discreet, I won't be discreet either, though, and ask you to put it away.
Mm-hmm.
Because my license and my store is way more important to me.
Oh, for sure. And liquor licenses everywhere, especially Florida, are not a cheap thing to obtain, and you definitely don't want to lose one. So I think it's important. I think it's important for everybody to play by the rules, and that's something I did. It was on my mind that I wanted to emphasize. So
appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah.
Yep. There's not many rules as it pertains to Pulpit Fest, but
Best.
I think that's one. And also,
Yes.
don't be fucking stupid. That's the other thing. Nobody wants anybody, having too much fun to where suddenly we've got issues and things of that nature. But that has never happened to Pulpit Fest in the past. I don't anticipate it happening this year, but still.
With that being said, if you guys are looking for places to stay, European Village, when you do your searching, go onto Airbnb or VRBO and look at European Village. You won't have to travel anywhere. You can just walk up and down the stairs or the elevator.
Super ideal.
So it will make life a lot easier. Parking is a little challenging, but other than that, the location is great for the event. If you guys are going to have rent-a-cars, it's a great place to be. Also know that if you do come here, traveling up and down A1A is literally not even a quarter of a mile from my front door to get onto A1A. So half a mile. So it makes it very easy.
And I will say, in terms of, taking some time to just kind of casually drive the A1A and check out the scenery, that's a wonderful thing to do.
And also keep your eyes open, because Vanilla Ice lives here and a whole bunch of other people who are always around. So you'll probably get to see some cool people too, maybe.
Well, that's neat. I didn't even realize that.
Ty Pennington, Vanilla Ice. Oh gosh, one of the 20-year-old super kids who are acting now or just moved here. Not Selena Gomez, but someone like that.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Okay. And then also, Cape Canaveral is not far.
It's an hour and a half.
And so people can see launches if there's any launch. I don't know. I don't know if any launches are scheduled for that weekend, but
it's not scheduled that far out yet, so we won't know. But you can see them right here from the shop, so you don't have to go down there to see them.
That's awesome.
If you go down, if you happen to be in Daytona while the shooting went off, they're a lot easier. Find one of the big bridges and stand on it, and it's a spectacular view.
Okay, we'll see. There's all kinds of fun stuff to do in and amongst the area aside from Pulpit Fest. So anyway. we'll move on from that. So let's now do this.
Are we done with our entertainment report,
motherfucker?
Well, I mean, are you done?
Okay, I can be done.
Well, no, are we done? I don't have any
Yeah.
more.
Okay,
I
yeah,
mean,
those were the main ones I wanted. The bear, yeah, those were the ones I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about. So,
Okay.
yes,
All right.
let's go on to the hey now, motherfucker.
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week. And so, what have you got, Ken? Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. Have you thought about it at all?
I did. Actually, it's been a pretty good week. I've had some parties this week that with some members and everything. So I had a Plasencia Year of the Dragon. That's
Okay.
probably my top of all of my lists right now. Maybe one of the best cigars I've ever smoked.
Plasencia is a hell of a brand, man. So yeah, that would probably have been really good.
That Year of the Dragon is spectacular. If you can get your hands on one, guys, try to do that. The smoothness, the ash the construction of it, everything about it is phenomenal.
Okay.
Very hard to find.
Okay. All right. My first one that I'm gonna go with. You know what? It may sound like I'm kissing ass, but I really actually did enjoy it. I smoked one prior and then I smoked one on the show. That fucking good cigar from fucking Good Coffee and United Cigars. That was a damn fine cigar. It's made at the Jose Dominguez factory. It had a nice Habano wrapper to it, and it smoked really, really well. Had some good pepper notes that crept into it, and I really did enjoy it. So, if it is available, still get some. If it's not, well, you missed out. Hopefully, you got yourself some in a pre-order or an order. But yeah, I dug the hell out of that.
Yeah, I haven't tried that, so I didn't get one. I missed it.
Well, maybe it might still be
Maybe.
available.
I'll go and check as soon as we're done to see if it's available.
There you go. So, what's your next one?
My next one is, truthfully, I'm going to go with a staple, the Padron Exclusivo.
Okay.
Smoked that 2 nights ago at a buddy's backyard. We had dinner and sat around the pool and just had a few drinks and picked a cigar. And I keep forgetting how consistently good Padrones are.
They are one of those brands that I feel like some people, that's all they smoke. It's like they stick with that's literally all they smoke.
Yep.
But then like for me, every time I fire one up, I enjoy the hell out of it. But for some reason, I don't fire them up I don't fire them up often because I don't like, I know what I'm getting. I enjoy what I'm getting, and maybe I'm just not like, I don't know, maybe I'm just exploring around a bit more than I don't know. For some reason I just never come back to it, rapidly. But every time I do,
I don't either.
every time. Yeah.
I sell it. It's one of my number one sold cigars in the store, Padron.
Yeah.
It takes up more shelf space than any other cigar in my shop.
Yeah.
And I very rarely go to it, but when I go back to it, I'm just like, wow, yeah, that's why everyone keeps coming in for these.
And it's like, and why don't I? Why don't I go back to it? And I don't know. I don't have a reasonable, good answer for that. But for some reason, I don't.
Either.
Yeah.
I don't either.
Well, okay.
What's your second one?
My second one I am going to go with is, you know what? I'm going to give a shout out to one that I know you sell there. And I may butcher this. Is the Kui? Kuei.
Yeah.
I had one of those that I got down at your place. I don't know any details about this thing. It was a relatively long cigar. I'd say maybe 6.5 inches.
Yeah, 6.25. Yep.
6.25. Okay, that makes sense. And in terms of mouthfeel, I don't think it was a full 60, but it was a damn big ring gauge.
54. So I believe it's 54, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I would have probably said more like 56 to 58, but maybe
it may be.
Okay. But
yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm sitting there looking in the walk-in right now, and I can't see it actually from here. I can see the case, but I can't see it. But no, Southern Classic Cigar is phenomenal. But with what we just said, you smoke Padron, you like Padrones.
Yeah.
Southern Classic Cigars was gifted from Padron to Eloy X amount of acres on the backside of the farm. So it's grown in the exact same spot Padron is.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
He used to be their personal photographer, and his whole family has worked for the Padron family for years.
Interesting.
So yeah, that cigar to me he has two different lines. He has the named line, and then he has the private label line, his private
Okay.
label SCC line. And he's got 4 different blends on that. Those are an $8 stick that's just like the $14 stick Padron.
Interesting.
Unbelievable. And he actually, Eloy, the owner of SCC, brought Rudy Padron in a week and a half, 2 weeks before he passed away for Bike Fest.
Wow.
So I actually got to sit here with Rudy Padron and Eloy and Rudy's soon-to-be son-in-law, and we sat here and talked for 2.5 hours with about 7 of my members. I got pictures with them. I got a signed box of 80th anniversaries from them.
Bike Week. That would have been not too long after I was down there.
Oh no, this is the Bike Week is the beginning, so that would have been March, the end of March. That's Biketoberfest that you come in for when you were here in October.
Okay, when I was in October.
2 different events, yeah.
2 different things. Okay, I'm
2 different
sorry.
events.
I didn't realize you had multiple bike events down there, but
yep. And then a week and a half after that is Jeep Week, and we got all sorts of stuff.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. No, it was just a really, really great cigar. I had it. I found it. I've been kind of digging through the humidor, and I found it, and I was like, I'm going to fire this thing up, and I did, and it just smoked wonderfully.
Yeah, his construction on his cigars are excellent. And there's one that you have to try. I think you have one. You should check the Anniversario from SCC. It's a 6.5. I believe it's a Perfecto tip.
Okay.
And it's fantastic.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
I'll have to. I'm like I said, I'm organizing through the humidor, so I will keep my eye open for that.
Actually, maybe it was your dad that I got him one of those. I'm not sure. I thought it was you, but maybe it was your dad.
Maybe. I don't know. All right. So what's your third one?
My third one, I'm going to go with it. It's because you were talking about it, and I smoked it this week when I was down there. The 10th year anniversary Island Gem, or Oscar.
Okay.
Fantastic smoke. It's one of my go-tos. I don't have a lot of go-tos. I literally don't ever keep Yagua and the one we're smoking right now, the Yaya, Yagua also, and Yaya.
Okay.
Are one of the only 2 that I have a box of. I don't buy boxes of anything.
Okay.
Because I literally change my cigar all the time. I don't smoke anything consistently. Those 2 I keep in my rotation all the time because I really like them both.
Yeah.
But that Island Gem or that Oscar is a fantastic smoke, that 10th anniversary.
So let me ask a question. As a shop owner, I've talked to some, and the Vitola is something that's very interesting to me in terms of like what shop owners are into. Do you have a go-to Vitola that you go?
Personally or for the store?
For you.
Personally, I'm still I like Toros.
Okay.
And I like torpedoes also.
Okay.
I like that. I like the smaller tip. I like the smoke concentration. I like the flavor. Toro size is my favorite size.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll do Gordos. And I will tell you, I have been switching since I came back from Honduras, and I've been smoking a lot of Elegante, the Lonsdale, or I just lost the word.
Robusto?
No, the really skinny ones.
Lancero.
Thank you. I just lost the word. Lancero size. They're correct. You get a lot more flavor because you have the same size wrapper, and it's just wrapped more times around, and it just gives it a lot more flavor.
For sure.
I'm trying to get myself comfortable carrying something that skinny. Kind of looks like a cigarette.
I'm not a big Lancero guy. For a couple different reasons, not the least of which is that if I smoke at my normal smoking pace, it's too fast for a Lancero, and you get runs in the wrapper and everything. So I have to purposely slow down my smoking with it, and it becomes a much more conscious effort. But to my point, in speaking with retailers and whatnot, I find that Robustos and Coronas tend to be very popular with retailers because you can get through more cigars in a day if you're smoking smaller ones, and thus you can try a lot more different cigars throughout the day, to either see like, how products in the shop is smoking, or on the flip side, you can smoke samples to see what you want to bring in, and you can get through more of them quickly.
Great point. And that was another thing they told me when I was in Honduras with Julio. And he said he doesn't smoke anything but Robustos. For him personally, when he's doing sample, he does everything. But for
Yeah.
himself, he always does Robustos because that's where all the flavor is. If you go to a
Yeah.
Toro size, the top part of the Toro that's why you get a flavor change about 3/4 of an inch in, because of the way the tobacco's rolled and everything, and where it
Yeah.
is on the leaf and all of that. So he goes, Robusto is the best one for flavor.
Okay. Well, then there you go. So it's just kind of a slight.
And I don't keep very many Robustos in stock. I keep mostly Toros.
I
Our
prefer
market,
Toros over
yeah.
Robustos myself.
The people who come here I got a lot of the guys who will come here literally and buy a Toro and only smoke half of it and just put it down and go get another one.
Yeah.
They don't like getting it too close to their hands. So
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of flavor they're missing out on.
they understand that they don't like when it gets strong and bitter for them. So
okay.
everyone's taste buds are different. So everyone has a
Different,
different
yeah.
way of doing things.
Okay.
But for me, I actually like that last third of the cigar.
I do too.
enjoy, yeah. So
Yeah. Okay.
and
All right.
I also take the longer cigar because when I have a cigar in my hand, that allows me to just chill out for a little while.
Yeah.
I have a Robusto and I'm done for 30 minutes and I have another 30 minutes with the store slow. I have to start another cigar now instead of finishing the one I have and just relaxing.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's everyone's situation's different. So
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, my last one is one that I sat out in the driveway after the race on Saturday. My dad and I sat out and had a cigar that evening, and I love this cigar. Normally, this is a variation on it. So it's the Romeo y Julieta Reserva Real Nicaragua, but this was the Midnight Twist Toro. So the regular one is the Blue Band Reserva Real, blended by AJ. And I people that have listened to the show know I've smoked the hell out of those. This is the first time I've tried the Midnight Twist, which has it's the barber pole wrapper. So it's got the regular wrapper with a like a Maduro, kind of done that. And that was a very intense, medium plus, I'd say, smoke. But what I will point out is, oh my God, it was a slow smoke. The normal Reserva Real Nicaragua, if I smoke that at a normal pace, I get a solid hour out of it. This one, I mean, hour and a half at least, and I would say that I probably could have stretched that out to 2 if it wasn't getting late and getting chilly out on the driveway. I probably could have
tried that one.
It smoked really, really well. I really was happy with it, and I got one. I got the little sampler pack things at TPE that had that cigar. It was what was it? Monte Cristo White Series, the H. Upman Day Trader, and the Te Amo. And they gave me one of those. And I had mentioned prior to them giving me one that my dad was real excited about the Te Amo coming back because he used to smoke the hell out of the Te Amo back in the day. And so they gave me another one of those packs for him. So I gave him that pack, and I had mine. And anyway, the bottom line is I smoked that and I really did enjoy it.
What do you think about the Upman Banker?
The Day Trader one?
Day Trader, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah. It was good. I smoked one on the show and I enjoyed it. I will say the second one, the one that was in that pack, I smoked it on my drive back from Indy yesterday. And not to shit on it, but like about the halfway point, I kind of got like a bitterish, almost slightly metallic kind of component to the flavor. And the best way, not to steal a joke for Mr. Jonathan, but the best flavor note I could call it was concussion, And so it was kind of like, I don't know. But once I got past that, it smoked fine the rest of the way. But yeah, about the midpoint in that one, it was just not quite hitting the palate the way I wanted it to. But the first time I smoked it, I've had two of them now. The first time I smoked it on the show here, and I had no issue with it. So I don't know if it was maybe just that cigar, maybe it was just my palate for the day or what it was, but yeah, it didn't quite hit as nicely as I would have hoped.
I smoked one in Vegas at the Cigar Lounge in Caesars. They had one, and I believe it was selling for like $34 or $38.
That's insane.
It was inexpensive. Yeah. I was like,
that's insane.
And then the price was very high, but it was Vegas, so you expect to pay more. And,
yeah.
I smoked it, and the whole thing just literally. I'm not trying to shit on a cigar, and I don't like doing that, and I don't like bad mouthing anyone. The whole thing just exploded on me, and I brought it up to the guy at the counter, and he's like, "What would you like me to do?" And I was like, "I just wanted to let you know." I was like, "I just wanted to let you know, just so in case it happens again, you're understanding that it's not just one cigar in here. I'm showing you one right now."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay," and I didn't ask for a new cigar. I didn't do anything. I said, I'm going to go back and cut this and finish it from work below the explosion. And I finished it. And that was the taste I had, was that metallic taste.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? And then fast forward till 2 weeks ago, we were sitting at a cigar lounge up in St. Augustine. I take my guys on a lot of field trips so they can see what's out there. And we all love traveling and just going around and just supporting everybody else.
Yeah.
So I tried another one, and the exact same thing happened to me. So I was like, at that point, I put it down and I didn't finish.
See, it didn't explode. I did not have it explode, but I did get that metallic kind of, bitterish taste in the halfway point.
Yeah. But I was,
No, that's a shame.
I love the way it started because I love the starting of it. I thought it was a fantastic cigar until that happened.
No, it starts really well. Like I said, I don't remember that from the episode that I did with it. So I don't know. I don't know. I may have to smoke one more. There's a shop near me that carries them. And let me tell you, they don't charge anywhere near 30 cents. It's like maybe like an $11 or $12 cigar.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if that metallic thing is not a common flavor note, then that's not a bad thing. But you're saying you had two of them that had it. I'm saying of the two that I've had, one of them is in my head with that. So like, yeah, it may be more of a common flavor note than I would prefer. So I don't know. That's something I'd have to look into. But anyway, that's my three cigars.
Mine too.
Okay. Well, we already did the MMC ad, so we got that taken care of. Did that while you were doing the UPS, finding out what Brown could do for you today. So
they brought me some. Yeah, they brought me some Esteban Carreras.
There you go. See, it's always nice when the UPS guy shows up with cigars.
Very nice.
I know.
Very
nice. I always like it when the UPS guy shows up with cigars. So
hint,
hint, hint. Yeah. Hey, anybody, any manufacturers that are listening, it's like, feel free to reach out. I'll give you my address. So
address. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you want to get featured on the show, that's a good way of doing it. As I literally just said in the beginning of the show that I don't dry bag and whatever for cigars. Anyway, all right. Well, in terms of the socials, I'm available on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit. We're on Facebook where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. Get in on that, and I will make sure to post my my long ash pictures in there later today. And then we are on Twitter/X. We're on YouTube where you can watch this. And like Ken and I were saying in the beginning of the show, there's only a few tickets left. We're talking 2 to 3 for PulpitFest 2024. So head on over to Eventbrite, BRITE.com, and get your tickets reserved and come and join us at PulpitFest at the Ash Ale in Palm Coast, Florida. It's going to be a wonderful time.
Definitely. Hopefully it'll be Florida. It's going to be hot. It'll hopefully be sunny. It should be perfect. Hopefully. Again.
It'll be nice and warm. I wonder Is that kilt weather?
Nick, I have a feeling for you, everything's kilt weather.
Be free and breezy. Not everything.
You're
I don't
there.
want to. I don't want to freeze, but it'll be nice and free and breezy.
I guarantee you won't be cold.
That's good.
That I
That's
will
good.
say.
There you go. That is a guarantee. That is, and if we are, we have much bigger ecological problems to worry about.
Correct. Correct.
Anyway, and where can people follow you, Ken?
I'm on Facebook at Ash Ale Lounge. Also at Ash Ale, formerly known as the Humidor. We're on Instagram at Ash Ale, formerly known as the Humidor, and Ash Ale Lounge. I'm sure we're other places, but that's my daughter's department, so I have no idea.
There you go. All right. Well, guys, like I said, make sure you make plans to come out. It's going to be a wonderful time. And if you've already reserved your tickets and maybe you need some suggestions of things to do, if you're looking for, maybe like you're plotting out your hotel and you're trying to figure out like where are we in relation to the shop and things like that. I'm sure if you reach out to Ken at the Ash Ale, he'd be happy to give you some suggestions. Like you said, the European Village, if you're looking for a very easy place to get an Airbnb or a VRBO, you can check out the European Village. And then at that point, you're literally just walking, like you said, upstairs to the elevator to wherever you're staying. So, that's
You've got
ideal.
restaurants and bars right downstairs. I mean, you got everything you really need right here. You're a mile from a Publix, and restaurants are all over the place. So
there you go. Sounds great. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Ken, thank you so much for taking time out today.
I appreciate it, man. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
It's always fun to have you on the show.
I'm looking forward to this. I think we're going to have a good time. I think we just have a group of everybody who's, as Nick always told me, common-minded and having fun. This is a perfect place to do it. It's a great way to go out and meet other people who are listening to the same thing you are and enjoying it. And just a great place to vacation as well.
I agree. It's going to be
buy cigars too.
And buy plenty of cigars, copious amounts of cigars. You're going to need that, and beer. You're going to need that carry or that checked bag for nothing else. Just to bring an empty one. Bring an empty one so that you can just fill it all with cigars. Because you're going to have plenty to bring back. So anyway, well, guys,
very good.
This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
I'm Ken.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. Final thoughts on the Yaya. I just realized I didn't do that. So final thought on the Yaya.
Fantastic cigar. Burning. I mean, the burn line is still impeccable. The stacking of the ash is fantastic. The flavor just keeps building. It doesn't get too strong. It's not too anything. It's just a perfect made cigar.
Wonderful construction, wonderful draw, wonderful flavor. I would say by the end, give or take where you're at, I would say it's definitely a solid medium. Maybe starts as a lighter medium, but as it progresses, it does build up in strength and intensity to where I'd say it gets to a nice solid medium by the end of it. The kind of pepper, I'm already done with mine, so I can't draw on it and try it, but I would say that the pepper component to the smoking experience kind of picks up near the end. Ken just did a final third retro hail.
I'm not good at those guys. Sorry.
I'm not either. So,
but the pepper is a lot smoother on this one than it was earlier.
Yeah.
But it's definitely still present. I got a little bit of leather.
And it's lingering.
It lingers. I got some leather on that one, and I'm going to just go back to regular smoking.
Okay. All right. There you go. Well, Ken, thank you so much.
Nick, always a pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me back on.